There you go.
Thank you.
You got a signal? Do we need to move that way some more?
No, we got a signal. We're good. Yeah. All right.
We're live. Live. So we got 0 people in
We
here.
have 0 people on.
0 people. Here I am with all my friends. All right. So we'll just hold up.
Hey,
a
my
bit.
name isn't Ryan is here. I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh, there's one person.
Yeah, it's Ryan. My
No,
name
my
isn't
name
Ryan.
isn't Ryan.
My name isn't Ryan. I won't disclose your real name because the powers that shouldn't be might find out.
Dad, your breath smells like meatloaf.
Should be. Should be. Folks, y'all, we literally just got finished eating.
Oh, from Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I was literally trying to wolf down some, I'm trying to set this thing up closer, man. Yeah.
What part of Australia are you from? Pisa? What part of Australia are you from?
Love your work. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. We'll just kind of do a little chit-chatting. Oh, what's this, my man? Scared to tell people the pics about the post office, but I don't know if they can you make that out?
That's okay. I tell people my pics at the post office, but I don't know if they do that anymore. So you're in Scone in regional New South Wales. I was in New South Wales.
Yeah, I hear that's not the most pleasant place to be right now. If any of the news reports that we hear are even correct, you would think, I don't know what to believe. So yeah, from over here, if you're listening to the media, it sounds like things are really, really rough. Some of the stories are almost unbelievable, but hey, if you can enlighten us on that, we'd like to know about it.
Just go over to Jeff Lawton's and tell the pimp sent you. Jamie Arnold, thanks for buying bone sauce. They said they bought some bone sauce and can't wait for it to show up.
Well, we shipped all that out today, y'all. It was, let's see, it's been every day as of late has just been really, really busy. So yeah, if we turn the camera that way, you could actually see the next batch. We sold out. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, they can see it. The fire.
Yeah. So yeah, anybody interested? It's going to be a little bit before we get another batch because, this stuff literally, honestly takes 12 to 14 hours if we're lucky. That's if everything goes right. There are times like a pot down there right now where it didn't turn out right. And so we got to go through the whole process again. So.
Yeah, it's like a 50-50 chance of it working properly. My name isn't Ryan said, how does somebody downvote this already?
Yeah, there's
somebody.
There's somebody that we we know who it is. That's a full-time hater, but we're not gonna give him any. We're not gonna give him any.
Yeah.
We won't go through and do any of that. But yeah, there are some people out there that hate.
Yeah, it's still traffic going towards our channel, so
that's really not why we do it, but I guess at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Dwight Hires said it's the first time he's catching us live on
awesome.
YouTube.
I love him, man. He keeps us honest.
Yeah. He's gonna check your numbers,
dude.
Too.
Yes, he will. He will check your numbers. I'm telling you what, man. Instead of those so-called inspectors that they had back in the day in Iraq, man, he would have been all over it. No, you got this many bombs. You got this. You don't have this. But I love it honestly because it keeps us straight. Like. There was a time where I made reference, and I should have corrected myself. I guess I'll do it now. There was a time where I made reference to the size of a pile. And through this camera, y'all, I'm telling you, this guy should be a crime scene investigator. He actually did the math on it and figured out exactly how much it was. I went out there and checked. I checked, and he was spot on. I'm like, how did he possibly know? How did he possibly know this? But hey, Mr. Hires, you are extraordinary.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he said if you hate them, then press the hate buttons twice. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so this bone sauce, we kind of sold out this
If there's a question, what was
This
it?
first batch, there isn't one.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. How's meeting Jeff Lawton? That's from Braden McDaniel. He said he loves the channel, and he's asking how meeting Jeff Lawton was. The dude is a genius. I mean, you're gonna learn just a ton of information just from like working with him, doing whatever and stuff like that. And if you go over there and you show an actual interest in permaculture, you're not just using it as a place to stay while you're on vacation, then he'll take notice of that and start teaching you exclusively and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
Well, you can't ask for better than that. My goodness, yeah. Some other folks were asking if this bone sauce works in Australia against wallabies, kangaroos, and other stuff like that. I don't know, and I wish I could send you some. But when he was in Australia, we tried to send him care packages of things like cookies and
just snacks
and stuff, and it took 3 months, maybe longer, and they turned it around and sent it back to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting it to Australia, I'd love to find out what it would and wouldn't do over there, but my goodness, man, they won't let us send anything.
Pisa asked where in New South Wales is Jeff Lawton. He's actually over at the Channon. So if you look, it's near Lismore. It's near Byron Bay. So he's over in Pinchin Valley.
Yeah, well, you just told the whole world down there where they ought to go when things get really stupid.
There's only 3 places there.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff. My bad.
You wouldn't recognize the stuff as food anyways.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about a food forest is you don't necessarily see it as food.
Yeah, it just looks like a really properly working forest. To some people, it just looks like an overgrown forest.
Well, that's in time, folks. So I think we're going to cover that some more on the difference between an orchard and a food forest. And right now we got both. Both are emerging. We've only been on this property under 2 years, and it's been a cleanup mess and trying to get things squared away. There's been a lot going on. So we're going to get to the point where we can show the distinction between an orchard and a food forest, because there is a difference. And we, instead of giving you like definitions for permaculture and stuff like that, we like to give you like examples, things you can see. Like, here is a swale. This is actually go out there and show you, this is a hugelkultur mound or whatever the case may be.
Hey, Miss Wanda.
Oh, Miss Wanda's in there. Hey, what's up? Hey, check out this shirt, y'all. Yeah, just came in today.
The one with sweat stains all over it?
Yeah, I've been out here slinging. I've been out here working at the fire trying to make more bone broth. Deep South Homestead, y'all. Friends, mentors. Can't ask for better people, y'all. I mean, I honestly went down there. I told Michelle, I said, look, I want to go down there because I don't think these people are real. And Michelle's like, that's a long way to go to find out. I'm like, okay, look, if they ain't, we'll just get on the first thing smoking and go on to New Orleans, and then we'll go visit Granny and some other folks we know down there. And folks, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in this YouTube homesteader space that aren't real, as you can attest to, having visited a number of these places. But I'm telling you what, y'all, not only was it real, when I first got there, just briefly, I showed up and the first thing I saw was, when you got out of the car, it was deafening with birds everywhere. I literally looked around, could see all 7 layers of a forest, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then by the time we left, y'all, it was like the fire hose was turned on and your brain was blowing, because not only were they doing everything they say they do, there's a ton more they're doing that they don't even tell folks about, y'all. And I'm looking forward to going back there. Can't wait. But hey, y'all, get your Deep South Homestead merchandise at their place. Act now, you get a free set of Ginsu knives. No, just kidding about the Ginsu knives, but go check them out, y'all. There's a wealth of knowledge, and they are friends and mentors of all of us, and I don't miss a single episode.
Right. So this, is there any updates you want to give on the bone sauce stuff?
Yeah, on the bone sauce, folks, I wasn't joking when I said we sold out. I mean, literally sold out in 20 hours and less, actually. So I want to offer an apology for those of y'all out there that didn't get none. But hey, I want to be real clear about this. Miss Wilder said no knives. Okay, no knives. But check out Crazy Days also, y'all. That's also affiliated with Deep South. That's Miss Wanda's channel, and the stuff she's doing coming up. Folks, watch her last video because I think it's profound and it's very, very needed. So check her out, and check out what she's doing on Crazy Days as well, folks. It's you don't waste your time watching those channels. I'm telling you, Deep South Homestead, Crazy Days. Check them both out. Regarding that bone sauce, I want to be real careful. I'm gonna tell y'all a brief story, and I'm gonna try to do this quick. Look, y'all, I know there's a lot of folks out there that really want this stuff. And in fact, the stuff I sent down there to Danny and Wanda at Deep South was about half as strong as what I've now formulated. This stuff, it takes a lot. And like William was saying a little bit ago, it's a 50-50 chance. Every time we burn, it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not it works. And if it does, it will have taken us anywhere between 12 to 14 hours. And if it didn't work, then it's right back to the drawing board. To get those jars, those 24 jars we had was probably, what, a month and a half worth of work? Doing it when we can. I mean, it's like if we got to burn something, we're just going to go ahead and make some bone sauce in the process.
Well, and you can't burn when it's raining, and we
Or
live in
when
a
it's dry.
rainforest,
Right.
or when it's dry,
Or when it's dry because we got the silvergrass everywhere. So we're working on. We got a batch going right now, but folks, every single time we burn this stuff, it only makes a cup and a half. I ain't joking. 12 ounces is what you get every time we burn.
and that's scraping the bowl.
Right, and that's getting out. And then also, briefly, I just want to say, look, there was this organic farmer we knew down in Louisiana. Started off with the best of intentions. Got out there, started raising pigs, and then all of a sudden he got hit up by one of the local grocery chains down there. And lo and behold, this organic farm, he's still technically feeding organic feed. Well, it wound up looking like a feed lot because no matter what, he had to come up with what they needed in that grocery store. Folks, I ain't ever going to be in that position, Lord willing, because honestly, I would rather not sell it than sell y'all some junk because honestly, there's only really 3 things in this world that mean a whole lot to me outside of my family and friends. That's what I can do with these, what I got up here, and my reputation. And I'm not going to sell junk. So if it takes a while to make another batch, y'all are just going to have to wait. I'm sorry, y'all.
I was wondering where you were going with that story.
Well, no, I mean, at the end of the
What
day.
do pigs have to do with
Well, no,
bones?
at the end of the day, this old boy went out there, had really great pigs. Now he's out there running a feedlot because he's trying to meet demand instead of just meeting up quality. Now the quality done went down, and people are starting to notice. That ain't going to happen with me, y'all. I'm a permaculture designer, and I make bone sauce on the side. And frankly, when you count the time it takes to do it, I'm not making that much. It really ain't when you consider all the time we put into it. So ain't playing around, y'all. When we get another batch up, we'll get it up, and that's all there is to it, y'all. I ain't about to thin this stuff out. If you want to thin it out, that's your business, but I'm not going to do it. We're not going to sell a lousy product and have my name on it.
And it can be thinned up. If they decide to thin it, how much can they thin it?
Yeah, you can thin it down. I don't thin it. I ain't thinning nothing down because I ain't playing games when it comes to these deer, but you can thin it down. You can take as much beef tallow, mix it in there as much if you want to thin it out, but I ain't thinning out nothing. And like I said, the stuff I sent to Deep South is half as strong as the stuff I'm making now. It wasn't that I was holding back on them. It was just, we've devised and worked really, really hard. I put in at least 100 hours just to try to get the first recipe down. And to get this new recipe down takes considerably longer. What do we got, son?
Yeah. Well, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, just shoot them down in the comments. I'm looking on here, keeping an eye out for any questions and stuff like that. But any updates on that festival?
Oh, yeah. Back to the Land Festival. Go to the website, y'all. backtothelandfestival.com. Everything's kicking off like it should. They're Matt and Gabby at Sovereign Village and Finding Country. Check them both out. Wonderful young people. They're building a house debt-free from the ground up. They've done it twice already. Did it in places that nobody should ever be able to do it, and did it with almost no money. He's a musician. She's a writer. They put this thing together, and we're just being affiliated with them. And we're part of it to a certain extent. By and large, they're calling all the shots. I'm just showing up to butcher a pig. And as far as I know, well, maybe that didn't come off right, but okay. So the first time we got a lot of advice from Danny and Miss Wanda from Deep South as far having done all this, and all the advice that we could take into them from what they provided to us. I told them, and wisely, they took that advice. They're keeping it small first time out. There's a musical, there's entertainment in terms of music both nights. Matt is a professional Nashville musician, and he's got a lot of other ones on lock. So we got professional musicians that are going to be laying it down Nashville style. I mean, you can't get better than that. And then on top of that, you know, unlike any other festival, because it is small, we're going to bring a pig, and from start to finish, I think we're going to dispatch it over at one place, probably at Matt and Gabby's house. And then from there, we're going to gut, skin it, and we're going to eat this whole doggone pig. Even got a chef on lock. If the chef's okay with it, I got to find out how he wants it done. We got 2 chefs locally that came by the other place and the other day, and they're going to hook it up. They're going to cook this pig. We ain't sure how. We're either going to cut it up. I would love to be able to cut it up and break it down into primals and show everybody how to break a pig down from start to finish, from primals to subprimals to cuts. But if we're feeding 175 people, we may wind up leaving it whole. Either way, we're going to eat this thing. We even thought about putting it in links, but where's the fun in that? You know, it's kind of cool that we can sit there. I think it'd be kind of cool to either put it in the ground or smoke the whole thing. And then last time we did something like this, this was years ago. They had a set of tongs up there, and it was like a pig picking. That's what they called it back in Oklahoma. Reach up there with the tongs and get you some. Until some nasty, filthy, this dude still had motor oil on his hands. He reaches up in there, grabs a hold of this pig, yanks it out. And so everybody behind him, it didn't work out so well. So everything looks like it's going to kick off. Fantastic venue, folks. I mean, this isn't some antiseptic warehouse or a fairground. You know, those things make sense. Folks, there's stuff for the kids. There's stuff for everybody. And like Danny and Miss Wanda said, you know, make it more about the fellowship, and that's what we're trying to do. So there's a little bit in terms of speaking, but 9 times out of 10, it's just all of us getting together, and it's a party with a purpose, y'all. That's really what it is. It's a chance for all of us to get together and have a good time and fellowship.
Jamie Arnold asked, William, did I see you on an Amtrak commercial? If you did, I'm owed some royalties, but not that I'm aware of. I was never on any commercials or anything like that.
No, but people are telling him, and y'all be the judge of this. They keep telling him, he's my son, so I guess I'm tone deaf to it. Everybody keeps telling him that he ought to be doing voice work. And
that's just weird.
No, but he's got a good timbre to his voice, and if he wants, he could probably sound like Barry White. Can't get enough of your love, baby. Come on, son. Let's
All right,
do it.
next
Come
question.
on, son. Just do it. Can't get enough of your love, baby.
The next question from Berlin Gonzalez says, hey, I saw on YouTube you guys were growing fruit trees to mix in the forest. What is the purpose of that? I'm not sure which video you saw, but we're not really growing fruit trees to add to the forest that you kind of see behind us. We're building our own forest down at the bottom of the property, a food forest. So
in land, by the way, that was in everything on this property was absolutely depleted. I mean, gone, messed up. It was a giant mud pit. And so we've clear cut the areas that need to be down. It's going to be a couple of year process just trying to get rid of the junk trees. Plus, we're going to need them to burn with our new fireplace. Well, with the bone saws too, but I was also thinking in the wood stove that we're going to get hopefully here before too long. Yeah, so when we talk about a food forest, we're building this from the ground up, and we're replicating nature. That's it in a nutshell.
Is the festival limited seating?
I think 175 tickets, y'all. Son, you might want to get that light over there.
Yeah.
It's starting to get dark. Yeah, right off the bat, 175 tickets. Whether they make more out of it, you know, that's to be determined, I suspect. I would imagine the thing going on up in Virginia, judging by some of the decisions that have gone on up there with the governor, I'd frankly be shocked if that one even happens. So last time out, when they tried this stuff last time, Tennessee was wide open. So, you know, we're going full steam ahead. And then I think if it comes down to it, y'all, we even talked about it tonight with Justin from Metcalf Mills. By the way, check out his channel. If it comes down to it, y'all, I mean, we've come up with contingency plans from A through Z, and we're working on more. But if it comes down to it, look, well, I'll just keep it. I'll just say that much for now. I won't.
Yeah, there's plans, I guess. What kind of wood stove are you looking at? Heat or food or both?
Oh yeah, all the above. We're talking to a company right now. There's a lot of stuff, y'all, I do myself. I mean, just about everything. It doesn't even my carpentry skills ain't perfect, but I can get it done. I'm a journeyman electrician, that's my trade. I'm a permaculture designer, that's also my trade. I'm a butcher, that's my trade. There are things that I hire out. When it comes to doing earthworks in an environment like this where it can be very consequential, if you get it wrong, I'm hiring that out. That's why Justin from Metcalf Mills, he does all of our earthworks for us out here. I'm not playing around. He's forgotten more about the earth. He's got 8 generations of knowledge going through his brain, so I'm not going to get out here and play around on a piece of equipment when I know there's somebody I can hire that's a friend that can do it and do it right better
And
than
he's
we ever
fast.
could. And yeah, I mean, he's unbelievably fast.
That
Just
terrace in the back, we'd still be working on.
yeah, he's extraordinary, and he uses that thing like somebody said, like the extension of his hand. What was that
Yeah.
question again? I kind of got offside.
Oh, imagine that. What
Oh,
kind of
the
wood stove?
stove. I was coming back around. I was circling. Hey, they circle around. That's what they say in the
You
White
mean
House,
you
right?
got off.
Circling
You got
back.
off topic.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Imagine that.
no, I'm weaving a tapestry, son. That ain't getting off
They
topic.
know what I'm talking about.
Anyhow, the wood stove. We got electric heat in this place. I ain't a big fan. We got a fireplace. Don't know if it works or not. Look, that's where I'm calling in professionals. So we got somebody coming out. Try to get them out as soon as possible. They're having a hard time finding folks, but they're going to come out. And what I'm looking for, I want an insert that can fit in there that we can cook on, that heats the place, does highly efficient, the whole 9 yards. And I don't want all the energy going up the stack. We even thought, well, we're going to do it in another place, but we thought about a whole house rocket stove over at Renewed Homestead, which, by the way, you want to check them out. They were in the same conundrum as us. They basically tore down the fireplace. I'm interested to find out what they replaced it with. They had kind of mowed over the idea of a whole house rocket stove.
Hey, real quick, do you have a quick recommendation for the Trivium or the Quadrivium?
Yeah.
Learn more.
Well, great question, by the way. And the Trivium, Quadrivium, thank you for asking. Yeah, if you want to learn that, there used to be a website called Learning the Trivium. Trivium meaning 3 rows. And there's another guy you want to look up. His name is Jan Irvin, spelled Jan, but it's Jan, like Scandinavian type. So Jan Irvin, Irvin. He used to have a podcast called Gnostic Media, and I believe he's changed it a little bit. He's a really good source to start with. Check him out when it comes to learning the Trivium. And thank you so much for asking that question. Because like I said in that video, if more people understood the who, what, when, why, we wouldn't be in this place right now. So I commend you greatly for even asking the question. Thank you so much.
All right, Berlin Gonzalez, which is an interesting name. Berlin Gonzalez.
I like it.
Yeah. What would you recommend for someone who wants to start a homestead?
Do you want to?
Oh man, find out what you eat the most of and start there. Because if you're growing a bunch of stuff that you don't even eat, then it's not going to last.
Let me back it up a little bit. Let me. Miss Lippy at Gemini Homestead covered this in a video that I thought was phenomenal, and I wrote as much on there. She covered this very thing where somebody wrote in and said, "Look, I can't start a homestead. I'm living in an apartment." Go back and watch her video. Check out Gemini Homestead and look at the advice she gives. Because what did Joel Salatin tell you on what makes a farm?
The farmer.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, she's wanting to know where to start.
That's where you start. No matter where you are, don't feel like you have to buy land. Don't think you have to be on large acreage. Don't think that you have to have a several acre spot. I get asked this question a lot. Start where you are. In our very first beginning videos, when we started this channel, I was farming at work, even though we had a farm 2.5 hours away. I lived at the job, quite literally 7 days a week working. And then I'd come home whenever I got a chance to escape. But you know what I was doing? Even though I was working 7 days a week, 12 to 14, sometimes 16-hour days, I started you can go back and look at the earliest videos. I called it Permaculture at Work, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's in the playlist.
That's right.
Permaculture at Work.
I started a food forest at work, even came out with chickens. You want to talk about people losing their minds when I showed up one day with a chicken tractor and chickens in it on the job, but it can be done. There was a parole office next door, which made perfect sense because, half the guys I worked with there were in and out of court dates anyway. So I guess that was convenient. So anyway, the people at the post office were willing to let me graze sheep over there. Had we stayed in Texas, y'all, I'd have probably had that whole, there probably was a good 10 acres and I didn't own none of it. That was the cool thing. I was farming, doing anything I wanted, food forest, planting annuals, putting in swales on other people's property. So don't think for a minute that you got to wait until you find the perfect place. Like I said, go back, look at what Miss Lippy said on Gemini Homestead, and I think she had the consummate answer to whether you live in 1 acre, check out Eric Sider. Eric Sider's, look at what you can do in an apartment, for crying out loud. He's a friend of ours, and I mean, you won't believe what can be done on a balcony at an apartment and facing the wrong way.
But to answer your question,
I did answer the question.
To start, maybe start with a garden and chickens, because those two things are going to complement each other and they work really well together. And it's easy to get them,
You can do that, but we don't know if she's living in an apartment or what. Look, grow mushrooms in your closet.
You can do that.
You know what? Find somebody that you know who has some land. Say, look, I'll tell you what. I'll buy the chickens. I'll give you 5 chickens.
Berlin Gonzalez, please tell us if you have land. Tell us what you're working with.
That would be helpful. Yeah. But I wanted to address a lot of folks out there that hit us up all the time like, I don't have land. You don't need land. It's like Greg Judy says, you don't need the land, you just control it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been doing it for years.
Yeah. Conrad Homestead.
Wow, man.
Thing to check out.
Where have they been?
Yeah, that's another channel to check out. They said, do your sheep ever drop weight in the summer months? Does excess of rain change quality of forage? None of our animals drop weight because of mom. And then, does the excessive rain change quality in our forage?
Possibly, but you would never know it because it's so thick out there. I mean, I tell you the truth, I haven't examined it that close. But, I mean, where we are, I don't know that we ever really have excessive rain because we've not done a whole lot. No rain actually sits on this property for very long. We live literally on the side of a mountain. So anything that's flat on it has had to be done with human hands. But no, I haven't seen any difference. I mean, these animals definitely haven't lost a pound.
No.
In fact, these little sheep, these feeder lambs we have out here, we haven't really covered them all that much. They're growing and they're eating weeds. They're knocking this stuff down. And yeah, they're pretty impressive. Hey, glad to hear you guys are back. I'm starting to wonder where Conrad Homestead went off to.
Glenn Sargent, he said, hey guys.
What's up, Glenn?
Speaking of Glenn, we got to do a shout out for our top patrons, which is Glenn Sargent and Tracy Rader. They are the pimp patrons on Patreon.
That's right, y'all. And for the record, I went to high school with Glenn and his sister. Their dad was an awesome mentor to me back in the day when, I wasn't the person I am now. Extraordinary family. So tell John I said hi. Tell your sister Sherry I said hi. Maybe Sherry's even watching, but wonderful family and extraordinary people. And they all farm too. Sherry and Glenn also.
Frugal Nurse Homestead. We're making bone sauce right now. Sorry. She said, or he said that they were trying to buy bone sauce and we're out of stock.
Sorry about that, y'all. Like I said, it's going to take some time. We're not going to rush it because it can't be rushed. It's one of those things, It's like, I mean, honestly, forgive the cliche, but it's kind of like wine. You can't, you speed this process up and you're going to mess it up. And if it's messed up, it ain't going in that bottle. I ain't sending it to nobody. But it takes some time, y'all. Bear with us. Hopefully, I'm guessing what do you think? Maybe, this batch down here, maybe we can have some back online tomorrow. We even thought about having a waiting list for folks, but we'll announce it. So where's the best place to announce it? I mean, usually the people on Patreon, folks, in full disclosure, whenever we have something for sale, whether it's honey, whether it's bone soft, we also sell comfrey. It always goes to our patrons first, and it should, And we give them a period of time where it's exclusively the patrons. and then we open it up to everybody. So we will continue to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll try to get you some. Sorry,
patrons get first dibs.
That's right.
Basically.
So join us on Patreon, y'all. Get those. We put good context or good content.
Right. So yeah, it's not just Patreon. Isn't just an area where we say, hey, we got stuff for sale. We also put up clips a couple times a week that are too short to turn into a full YouTube video. So some of them are like
call them
also
short.
stuff that we can't show on YouTube. One of them being like how to process a chicken, or how to kill a chicken, or how to kill a pig.
Right. We did the pig. Jason from Sow the Land. He dispatched that last pig we did, and that's something we couldn't do on YouTube. So I mean, Patreon, y'all. We don't use it as a slush fund or anything. Honestly, it's part of our. We save it, and we save it for what we're building here, which is a number of things.
Berlin, she gave us an answer. They live in an apartment in Miami, but they're trying to buy land in Central Florida.
All right. Okay, so in that case, you're in that apartment, get the training now. You also have, from the Kramer Life, Nate Kramer, or Kramer. He'll get a kick out of that. Anyway, at the Kramer Life, look at what he does. They don't have any land right now. He'll go out and work with whomever will have him. And I can relate to that because that's how I got into the butcher's trade, y'all. I couldn't get in the front door until I finally said, look, I will work for free. Just put me out there and I'll do it. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. And, I won't go through that story again, but honestly, see if there's a farm where you can get some of these skills right now. Grow it on your balcony. Check out Eric Sider's YouTube. He did extraordinary work on a balcony. See what can be done.
He had a pond.
He had a pond on a balcony, y'all, in an apartment facing the wrong direction.
Facing east.
That's right. No, I think it was facing south.
Facing south is the right direction.
No, he didn't get no sunlight. Can't remember how it was situated, but the long story short, get your training in now. Don't wait until there's so many people that wait until they jump out on the property. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get country. No, that's not how it works. Not unless you're get used to disappointment. If that's the way you roll, just learn a little bit and then build on it. Later on, gain a little bit more. That's where I would start. If you're in an apartment, volunteer everywhere and anywhere you can. See where you can go put a hand to it.
Just got a proposal.
From whom?
Townsteading.
Huh?
A marriage proposal. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
So doggone well I can't see that. You might as well say it.
Says, William, when are you coming to marry me, handsome man? Just kidding. Kind of. Always a delight to see you on camera. All right. Thank you, Townsteading.
Okay, do you think he ought to be doing voice work?
They're obviously biased in this one.
What did they say?
Well, they didn't respond.
Yeah, nobody says, well, I guess that's a no. That's a profound. Nobody's like, oh.
Homesteading Pastor says, hey.
Hey, what's up, Homesteading Pastor? Hey, y'all want to see something? Check this out. Homesteading Pastor, Pastor Lon, and his wife, Robbie Lynn, y'all, they got this son that plays the piano. As I understand it, no training whatsoever, no voice training or nothing. Check out this young man. I'm telling you what, y'all, he can chirp. I sat there and I'm listening.
He can what?
He can chirp.
Is that good?
Yeah, man, like a bird,
Does that mean he's singing?
Okay, he's not tweet, tweet, tweet. Okay, he can sing.
Okay.
I'm telling you what, that young man, he drops it like it's hot. I even thought more than once whether Michelle was asking if we could hire him to come do like our intro music, for our YouTube or whatever. But y'all have got to check out the Homesteading Pastor. Check out okay, he also does homesteading too, but their son, I'm telling you what, that young man can sing and play extraordinary. Go check it out.
James Heights, he says, he asks, do you make any hay for winter or bedding?
No.
Well, actually, yeah, but not in the way you're thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do. Mom has actually been putting back hay in small amounts.
Tree hay.
Yeah, throughout the day, but it's tree hay, so it's like small limbs and branches and stuff like that from trees that already need to be pruned and stuff like that. And then she's been putting it in the barn and then hanging it and drying it for the winter, and it's called tree hay. As far as any bedding, no.
No, as far as regular hay, check out a book called Kick the Hay Habit with Jim Garish. That's pretty much what we do here. We keep our stocking density. Since we've rejuvenated a portion of this place, and since we're opening things up, our stocking density is woefully below where it ought to be. So we have to go behind the animals right now, and I think we covered that in the video, where we have to go behind them and kind of knock it down because our animals, we don't have enough to do enough impact, and we're not just going to put anything out here. So we got a cow coming, a little bull, actually. We got a little bull coming. We're going to get some more sheep out here. They navigate this terrain very, very well, hair sheep. And yeah, as far as we stockpile forage to be able to work it through the winter. So we almost never feed them hay for a few years now. So we stockpile enough forage to do that. We do keep some hay on lock just in case, there's some big ice or snowstorm and they can't get to it. The sheep will knock it out of the way. I mean, it's not a big deal, but yeah, it's even through all the snow and everything we got last time. Yeah, we stockpiled enough forage through the winter.
Yeah. So where did it go? Somebody was asking about, I can't find it. Oh yeah. Greg Armour and Eric Patterson were both asking about permaculture courses. Eric Patterson was specifically asking about Midwest permaculture. I don't know anything about Midwest permaculture, but actually, check out what their 3 ethics are. If their 3 ethics aren't earth care, people care, and return the surplus to the first 2, if they aren't exactly that, I would be careful about where you're going.
Yeah, that's great advice, son. That's very, very wise advice. I mean, generally they might get it right, but that 3rd ethic in permaculture, y'all, can be a deal breaker in some ways. And it certainly is with me because depending on how you define that 3rd ethic, I mean, it's not something I'm going to live by. Nobody's going to tell me how to distribute what I got. So yeah,
fair share. The other ethic, the 3rd ethic that some people claim it is fair share to the first 2. Well, fair share doesn't even make sense. Like when we go through and let's say we're clearing out a bed full of those green beans and stuff like that. The majority of that full harvest went back to the earth in the form, like all the stuff that we couldn't eat, we can only eat the beans. Everything else gets returned back to the. So if that's a fair share, then we're actually doing the earth a disservice.
Well, okay, you know what? Where's that fair share with all these chicken guts I get whenever we process? I don't see nobody coming out here with their hat in their hand saying, hey, bro, you mind if I get those chicken guts, brah? I don't hear any of that. So, yeah, that 3rd ethic, y'all, we did a video called Our Problems with Permaculture a while back. And depending on how you define that 3rd ethic, yeah, I think that's a good barometer, son. We recommend at School of Permaculture. You can do it online. Yeah. It's affordable.
School of Permaculture with Nicholas Bertner. He's based out of Plano, Texas.
Not anymore. But just put in School of Permaculture. It's an online course. You can get it all done that way. Jeff Lawton has an online course. Michelle's a graduate of that as well. It's not cheap, but name one thing worth having that is.
It also depends on what you're trying to do with this permaculture design certificate. Are you trying to get a certificate in design for people, or are you just trying to learn for your own property and stuff like that? If you're wanting to learn for just your own property, or even still, I'd still recommend starting off with Nicholas.
I would. I mean, without a doubt, especially in this day and age, it's kind of cool when you can do a permaculture design, a permaculture design course with a group of people, because you get to know them and you find it's magical that way. That's the one thing I truly miss about what's going on right now. Somebody asked about the Earthship.
Yeah, right? How's the Earthship coming along?
Okay. Well, no, I mean, it's what it is. I mean,
it's raining.
There's rain, and then also on a construction site, which is how we do it, y'all. You have a laydown area. You do a whole lot of planning before you get there. We would have loved to have been off and running right now. There's some earthworks that need to get done down the hill. We don't want to release that just yet. But there's basically earthworks that need to be done down the hill before we can focus our efforts up the hill to dig out the footprint for the Earthship. Because we got to tear down part of that barn. We'll eventually tear it all down. So we're in the position of when we do our earthworks down the hill, we're going to go ahead and start tearing down the barn and using that material in the barn, the wood that comes off of it, for the structure that's going to go down the hill simultaneously while we're building the earthship up the hill. So it's a double-edged sword how we do that. And then at the same time, y'all, we got to try to make a living. We shoot videos pretty much every day. You know, we don't push it. It's just whatever we just happen to be doing that day. We do videos that requires him doing a little bit of editing, like 15 minutes worth.
Depends on how much rambling goes on.
Anyway, there's all that kind of stuff. But go ahead, son. I won't.
Townsteading actually said, that's a good question regarding the permaculture design certificate. They said, I don't have any desire to design other farms or homesteads, so would it be better to pay for a consultant when the time comes rather than getting my own certification? I would still do both. Let's say, okay, so I do permaculture design consultations. Let's say you pay me to come out there and do a design and consult for you and all that stuff. You still have to have a base knowledge of how everything's going to work. Because I'll leave at some point. You know what I mean? So it would be beneficial for you to still take that permaculture design course. But the
Best money I ever spent.
Yeah. I mean, you should still take the course. But you still might want to hire someone else. You should always have somebody else.
That's right.
Come design your place because you're gonna have blind spots to it and stuff like that. And
right. But one of the problems with some of the consultations, why I don't do it and why he does, is, and we were kind of talking about it today. We get up.
Maybe.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, and a lot of times where he's better equipped for it than I am, and he's extraordinary at it. Really, it's just not my cup of tea. So the PDC to me means, how was I able to take all that knowledge? And a permaculture design course is really nothing more than a toolbox, and all these things are within it. So for him, where he's able to, center it here, center it abroad. For me, I use my knowledge on this YouTube channel, trying to teach others what we know and what we've learned and what we're learning, but mostly for myself. The consultation thing ain't for me. I've done it a couple of times before, and in every single case, you advise them about what they should do, and in every single case, they did a 180 of what they should have done, and then they still blame you even though they didn't do what I told you to do. So I'm just not interested. He's better at it than I am by far.
The Michael V said the permaculture design manual is only $180. Well, yeah, you can go ahead and dive into the permaculture design manual. It's not easy reading. I mean, you almost need who's that dude? Gondolier. You almost need a gondolier going through the permaculture design manual because it's pretty dense.
Yeah, I would agree. It helps because honestly, if you were to sit down and read it, I don't know of anybody that's read the whole thing. It's more of a reference guide. And it really helps when you have an instructor who's already been there. I think it's helpful to go through 2 permaculture design courses because you're drinking from a water hose at first, and then you step away from it. If you don't go immediately into it, it can be a problem. But yeah, I would suggest definitely getting somebody from the outside to look at what you do. I mean, and they don't even have to be a permaculture designer. Like Justin at Metcalf Mills, he's corrected me so much regarding some of the things I thought about doing here and how we're now doing them based on his knowledge of topography, things I thought I might have a good handle on. But also, folks, one of the big things is remove your foolish pride. You can go out there and be a fool if you want to and say, I'm just going to put this here, or I want this here, and that's the end of it. Listen to that person that's looking at it from a 10,000 foot view, because you're going to find out 9 times out of 10, if you can remove your foolish pride, you're going to make better decisions.
RTR Worm Farm said, what's up, Billy and William? Are you based out of Texas? Is that worm farm? I think if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's the one in Texas that Nicholas Bertner, the permaculture design teacher, went and visited. I wonder if it is.
Oh,
And then Michael V said it's usually a bad idea to do the initial design on your own property. You were too close, which just ties in
Couldn't
with what
agree
Dad
more.
was just saying.
couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And also, you might be, if you're designing your own property, you might be looking at it at too much of an aesthetic
That's right.
reasoning.
I'll give you a prime example, and they don't live far from here. Some folks came and they hit us up, me and Michelle, to come look at their place. Went out there, told them, okay, it was based on zones. If you ask me what I would do, I put the chickens here, I put the garden here, and all of these things are situated in such a way to make life easy for you. They did the 180-degree opposite of what we advised, and your kitchen garden is a quarter mile away, and your chickens are a quarter mile away.
Things that you have to visit every day, multiple times a day.
Right. So your zoning means a whole lot in this stuff. And so more often than not, and it's guys and gals. I'm not picking on guys and gals. I know a woman that didn't want the garden close because she thought the snakes would be in there. But then we knew a guy who put his kitchen garden to a point where on the same property where you had to drive to.
Wait, they were married, weren't they?
Who?
Those two people?
No, well, no. I'm thinking that we'll talk about that one later. But honestly, or put a chicken tractor in zone 5 because his wife's claiming she's allergic to it, but she wasn't so allergic she couldn't sneak out there and steal all the eggs. But that's another thing altogether.
Rooted by the River Homestead, where do I find your consultation information? If you message us on Instagram, I can contact you there. I do phone consultations and in-person consultations. Half the time we can knock out whatever you need with a phone consultation. There's this lady, Jenny Stinson. We've talked twice this week just about her property up in, well, I guess I better not say where, but just about her property and just planning for the future and stuff like that. So just hit us up on Instagram and I can talk to you there about that. They also, RTR Worm Farm said the honey was amazing. I'll trade you some honey for some red wigglers.
Hey,
red
no. Don't be sending no worms up here, homie. We got plenty of those around here. We got even some 2-legged worms walking up in town. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, thanks, y'all. The honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dark stuff, apparently the honey was off the hook. The dark stuff was comfrey honey.
Comfrey and
That's all that was really going at the time. That was comfrey honey, which I've never heard of anybody else producing. Thank you, bees. Thank you very much, bees. And then the latest stuff was some kind of sourwood, is what we've been told.
It's sourwood honey, which every time that's sent off to competitions and stuff like that, it always seems to win.
But I thought the comfrey honey was better.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, it depends. The darker honey is higher in antioxidants and is actually better for you and has more of a flavor profile than the lighter honey. But a lot of people don't like strong tasting honey, so a lot of people prefer the lighter colored honey. And, they already sent in some.
Oh man, okay.
Emily said they have the best honey.
Who?
Emily.
Oh,
yeah.
Emily, your boo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sorry,
hey, sorry about that marriage proposal. He's kind of tagged out, y'all. He called his limit. So, hey, Emily, we love you. She's a little sweetheart.
My name isn't Ryan. I'm sorry, I don't accept box tops for consultation.
That dude is a trip, y'all. Some of the shirts we wear, like the Black Locust Matters shirt, he came up with that one. Yeah. He had this other one, which we never could find the time to get completely worked out with the sheep. Like, hey, well, I don't want to tell y'all. It's his intellectual property. And then the Defecation Matters shirt, which I'm trying to soften up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. What is it?
Just saying.
Emily put out the little hearts.
We'll let them take care of that. Anyways.
We miss you, Emily. Can't wait to see you again, sweetheart.
Glenn was wondering how far the flooding is from us. Just up the road.
Well, no.
Just up the interstate.
Well, it ain't just up. It's actually down the interstate, but it's a good ways away. And you know what I find curious? Probably get in trouble for bringing up this political stuff. But you got people missing, 15, I think, at my last count, right here in North Carolina, right? All right, that's a pretty big deal to me, right? But on the front of the local paper in Asheville, I was checking out of the corner grocery, and I'm looking at the newspaper, and the only thing they're talking about is how few black people there are in Asheville, how the population's going up and the number of black people's going down. What planet am I on? I mean, heavens to Murgatroyd. I mean, what? There is nothing that makes any sense anymore, y'all. So, anyway, to answer your question, I mean, it's a decent way away. It rained the other day around here. I was looking for animals 2x2. It was coming down, but that's the benefit of living on the side of a mountain. And
We've got bigger issues if the water floods all the way up here.
yeah, so likely at 3,000 feet, y'all, you'll probably be underwater before we are. So
Yeah. Blackpack Homestead. Hey guys.
hey, what's up? They're down the street, and I think in Weaverville.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
yeah, they got rabbits down there. Check out Blackpack Homestead. Been meaning to link up with y'all. We were gonna try to get some rabbits, but we just got life in the way. You know, I'd still like to link up with y'all and maybe learn a few things about it, because frankly, I don't know the first thing about rabbits.
Yeah. Jenny Stimson. I keep wanting to say Stinson instead of Stimson. She was the lady I was doing the calls with this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys. Glenn said they got 5 inches of rain in the past week.
Well, that's in Oklahoma too.
In
man.
Oklahoma in August.
Ooh,
That's what they just said. Is that a lot?
that's a lot. Anywhere, yeah,
Oh, well.
yeah.
Well, I mean for Oklahoma.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
particularly bad. Wow.
That's where I grew up, y'all. I mean, Oklahoma. So, yeah, that ain't great. Red mud everywhere.
Yeah, we don't have any more questions.
Well, okay, so
Oh.
we'll just.
Hey, Metcalf Mills, Justin from Metcalf Mills. If you haven't already, go check out Justin from Metcalf Mills. He is actually going to put out a video here before too long that you guys should definitely check out, because this stuff is, he's the only person I know who actually like works on these old time mills.
Dresses stones,
Dresses
all of it, y'all.
stones. And the video that he's going to put out here soon, he's going to show you he's restoring a mill in this video, and he's going to show you all this stuff.
He drove it by the house today, y'all.
Yeah,
It was,
that thing is cool.
I mean, it is, me and Michelle got to take a good look at it before he was boxing it up. But hoping to have him out at that festival too. So, folks, I know there's a lot of stuff going on. Let me cover that festival again, y'all. Just remember, go to the Back to the Land Festival. You're going to there's going to be all kinds of stuff there. And what I love is that Matt and Gabby insisted on there being lots of stuff to do for kids. So unlike other festivals, you know, where there's not really a whole lot there might be a swing set if you're lucky. We actually got camp counselors that are going to, you know, show these kids how to properly throw axes and bows and arrows. And they got stuff out there. There's so many activities they can do. They got activities. They can do activities, son. Yeah, so
No bunk beds though.
Yeah, so anyway, there's that. It's a beautiful location, meandering stream through there, a lake, a couple of lakes actually. And then really just a really awesome time of fellowship. That's really what the biggest part is about it. There'll be some stuff there, but it's more about the fellowship than anything, and we're going to feed you some pig. So,
Strand Venture.
yeah.
He said he's under contract on a 10-acre property and stuff like that. And he's the one that
I know.
Yeah, that chicken tractor on steroids. So, guys, go check out his channel, and you can see another way that people are doing this chicken tractor on steroids.
Which was actually shocking, because he and 2 Old Crows Homestead are the ones that I know for a fact that have done it, made videos about it. And I'm like, I can't even begin to tell you how awesome it felt to know that we've evangelized this system enough to where at least other people are giving it a shot. And they're doing a great job at it, y'all. They're not necessarily following the recipe we are, because they have different limitations, constraints, and concerns and abilities and areas that they have to work within, and they're still making it work. And it's coming out fabulous. So, I mean, these are wonderful people, and it's really a joy to see other people replicating. Frankly, I don't understand why more people aren't doing this chicken tractor on steroids.
Well, I mean, yeah. So check out Strain Venture and Two Old Crows Homestead, just so you can see like other ways people are doing it.
That's
Just
right.
to see like maybe one of their methods works better for you. Like I know Two Old Crows Homestead. I did a consultation for them. Their chicken coop is stationary, so their whole system is stationary. So if you have a stationary system, maybe check them out and kind of get an idea. They're doing like a weekly update, I think.
Yeah, and Strand Venture, well, he was for a while there. I was getting him for some reason every time he would send a video. It was tough getting on there, but it's pretty cool where he's using cinder blocks to get this thing underway. Piles are much smaller, and it still works out. So I don't understand, especially in these times. You know what? I think if the inflation keeps going the way it is, I think people are going to have to do this chicken tractor on steroid system. Because truth be told, I mean, we honestly, he was talking about it the other day. We can do it now with just the scraps we're producing right here on farm. I wouldn't even have to go anywhere for the chickens, but I do for the pigs, at least for now. So, I mean, well, frankly, these guinea hogs we got on the side of this mountain over here, y'all, I'm barely feeding them, and they're still putting on weight. So, I mean, I'm just keeping them bucket trained by and large, but for the most part, it's just a, put a little bit of food out there just to get acquainted. But these guinea hogs are getting fat, too fat, honestly. I'm trying to thin them off.
Yeah, they jiggle when they walk.
Yeah, I mean, especially we had 4 of them out there, Craig, Smokey, Debo, and Smoke.
It looks like a rat.
Big
video.
worm. Yeah. Yeah, he's out there.
Should do a music video.
No,
with
dude,
these
this
pigs.
pig's out here doing the truffle shuffle, man. I mean, this sucker's out in the woods. Every time Debo comes walking through there, he's doing the truffle shuffle like from Goonies. So it's it's pretty crazy.
Oh man. Jenny Stimpson, you were asking like how to use the bone sauce. I would recommend going back and watching that video. That's not you kind of want to see how it's
That's
done
why we
instead
didn't
of-
include instructions with it. We
Well,
just
we
kind
did.
of we did. The instructions were go watch the
Go
video.
watch the video.
because there's no possible way to convey this thing. How many, for something that's as nuanced as putting bone sauce on a tree, how do you possibly explain that? So that's why we did the video. I mean, believe me, I have a pretty good command of the English language when I want, and to find a way without writing several sheets worth, I'm like, okay, we can convey this 10 times better if we just go ahead and make a video. So
Yeah.
the areas where we've used it, on the trees, on the raised beds, on the posts. We got Justin at Metcalf Mills. We're about to try a little another version of this that Justin came up with to see if it's going to work out regarding. Well, I don't want to give it up just yet because it's kind of Justin's intellectual property. Deep South Homestead, as I understand it, I think they had like caution or danger tape around there. I couldn't get a good look at it, but
Yeah, it was like caution tape, the equivalent of caution tape.
other folks we know that have tested it, they've put like caution tape out around. Like, you don't want to put this stuff over a half-mile space. It's probably not going to work. But you want to keep it within concentrated areas that you need protected, like your garden, your vegetable garden, things like that. You want to concentrate the effort of that smell around that place that you really don't want disturbed.
Oh man, we've got some questions. All right. The Black Pack Homestead, they want to know more about the bone sauce. Like, what does it do?
It's a process, okay? It was not invented. It was made popular by Sepp Holzer. Folks, if you want to see another genius, that's one right there. Has a farm called the Chromatterhof, and actually has another one also in Austria.
Sounds like a prison.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does. Anyway, he made it known at some sort of symposium about this bone sauce. People asked him about it, and as I understand it, I think Paul Wheaton actually got him to demonstrate it. Well, I saw the way they did it. We replicated that method. It didn't work as far as keeping the deer out. And then so we devised and invented another method to make it stronger. And what it is, basically, the bones are I got to say this without giving away the process, folks. We gave away the process before, but we took that video down because the problem we have, and this has been consistent, is that there are several large homestead YouTube channels that will steal your ideas. If you're from a smaller channel, I'm going to put them on blast. I won't say who they are, but they will steal your ideas, your original ideas, and they will present them on their page pretending as if they came up with it. Now, I've called them out more than once, and it seems at this point it's come to a stop. But like I said, if I were to say their names, everybody here would probably know them. And there's a couple of channels that have been consistently doing that. Some has been with our fence ideas, some with some other ideas. There's been this lamb tractor that was invented by the sheep tractor company out of Waco, Texas. People have stolen their ideas, not even given attribution for it. So that's why I'm not going to do it. I mean, I put 100 hours of my time into developing a way to make this stuff that's more concentrated than anybody else has ever brought out there. And it's now what you call a family recipe. I usually don't.
You want to do a honey giveaway to anybody who guesses correctly?
No, we're not going to do that. But like I said, there are channels out there. So I quit that. If there's any legit intellectual property, yeah, YouTube is a way. That was part of why we started this, was a way for people to quit stealing our ideas. But
well, not necessarily for them to quit stealing, but so we had like a for sure timestamp of, when that
right
happened.
After what happened with the people down there at the sheep tractor company, we were like, okay, man, we got some legit intellectual property here. Maybe we want to protect it. So if we make it known in YouTube world, well, that doesn't seem to make a difference to some of these other channels. Some of them pretty local to where I am, because they're like, okay, nobody's ever heard of this guy. Nobody's ever heard of Billy. Well, I'm gonna have a little conversation with you next time I see you. If I see you, I'm going to have a little conversation with you and ask you, how do you sleep at night? Some of these people out there doing this stuff. Because, I mean, really, you got over 100-some thousand people watching you. You can't give a little bit of shout out to the person you stole the idea from, whether it's the sheep tractor company or whether it's my bone saw. So I'm not giving you any more. Sorry, folks. I didn't mean to go into that diatribe. But it's one of those things. Intellectual theft within this community is something I never thought I'd have to deal with. And talking to Danny and Wanda down in Deep South, apparently they've dealt with it a number of times on their own too. I would have never expected that a crowd like this would be the type to steal ideas. And it's not the smaller channels, it's these bigger ones. And if they keep doing it, I will put them on blast. I'll go live and I'll tell you who they are if they keep it up. But they've been given notice, and like I said, they're gonna have something to answer for next time I see them.
Angela Driscoll, absolutely do not drink this bone sauce.
What?
This is not edible in any kind of way.
Angie?
Angela Driscoll, do not
What
eat
did
the
she
bone.
ask?
She was asking, at a certain point of producing, do you drink the bone sauce like bone broth? No.
Oh, you're thinking bone broth.
No. It's not.
No.
It's not even close.
Yeah, okay, disclaimer out there. Anybody that bought this stuff from us, don't think you thin it out and make some tea out of this stuff. No, not for human consumption, because honestly, if you taste it, you'll probably spit it out anyway. In fact, the smell isn't so repulsive that you can't bear it.
You wouldn't want to.
But you wouldn't want to. No, Angie, it's designed to keep deer.
Her name's Angela, Dad.
Angela, okay.
It's designed to keep deer away.
Yeah.
And rabbits. Black Pack Homestead. I missed this question earlier, but who would you consider a mentor and why?
Got a few of those. That's a good question. Go ahead, son. It better be your old man.
Ahead.
It better be your old man.
All right, Dad. Go ahead, Dad.
A mentor. It all depends on what it is. Honestly, I consider Danny and Wanda at Deep South awesome mentors in so many different ways. Very giving, just, honest people that I feel a real blessing to call friend. So does Michelle too. She's not here. She's out there cuddling with her sheep out in the
She
dark.
better not be. It's still dark.
Well, I heard her down there saying, "Come here, little sheepy, sheepy, sheepy." Anyway, it depends on what it is. mentors I've had in the past that until I met them, they were mentors. And then when you meet them in person, you find out that they're a little bit different. They may be a little more aloof than you thought. That was the thing. Another thing I found out at Deep South, I was like, man, I'm expecting the worst because I've been to so many different places, and a lot of times you get disappointed, and then you find out, oh my goodness, man, these people are something else. Another mentor, it depends entirely on what it is. Jeff Lawton is a mentor that I would love to meet. The list is very, very long. Son, why don't you go ahead and kick off some of your mentors?
Hey, you want to fix your comments, by the way?
I don't know how to do that.
Well, how do you pull it back up? Your phone isn't even connected to the Wi-Fi anymore, Dan.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, son.
Mentors, I think if you're looking for a mentor in whatever you're trying to find and whatever you're trying to do, look for the person that's best at that, or the one, you know what I mean? Are you listening, Dan?
Yeah, I'm listening.
What did I just say?
Look for the person who's best at that. Bam, his old man, yeah. I know your old man wasn't on that list, but go ahead, son.
But, some people are going to have to serve as, like, temporary mentors and stuff like that. Like, this past winter, I picked up green wood carving. But there aren't any classes going on because of COVID and whatnot, and hopefully that didn't shut down the live stream. But I can't find any, in-person mentors on this green wood carving, so I'm having to resort to YouTube. And I'm going to this dude named Zed Outdoors, who actually goes to a bunch of different wood carvers in England, and he just shows you how they do something, and they just talk you through the process and explain why they're doing it. And that's the best type of mentorship I've been able to find on green wood carving.
Yeah, apprenticeship.
Like
I was also learned when I first got in the electric trade. I remember having to go see the apprentice committee because I was being a wise guy or something. And as far as those mentors, where you're in a position where you may have to work with somebody you don't particularly like, or you don't like working with, whatever the case may be. If nothing else, you learn what not to do. So there's lots of great mentors out there, and you name what it is. In terms of news, in terms of politics, in terms of how I view the world, I have so many different people. As an autodidact, I get information all day long, y'all. What you don't see is I'm listening to podcasts pretty much all day long, and that's some way, in some way or another, I'm learning. I'm in a learning phase. I love to learn, no matter what it is. Whether I'm learning something about the world, or whether I'm learning something. I got this podcast about the Roman Empire. I mean, that's a fascination for me. And learning about the Visigoths during ancient Rome. There's another one I have for philosophy. There's another one I have on these other things. So when every once in a while I'll do a front porch thing and I come up with a bunch of stuff that seems like it has nothing to do with permaculture, that's the reason why. Because we don't watch TV. I don't. This is, I feel like I'm doing what I want with my life. And I find mentors all along the way. It depends on what it is. I like how you dodged that one, son.
Well, no, in certain tasks or
I'm messing with you.
Well, certain things it's kind of hard to find a mentor for. Like Justin with his mills.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
on earth can you find a mentor for on
Right.
that?
Hey, can you show me how to dress these stones? Yeah, Justin had to invent a lot of folks.
Finding a mentor for making papyrus or something.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
In his case, being the consummate autodidact, he's had to invent a lot of the technology or rediscover the technology that he uses to work these mills. And folks, it's not some gear. This thing, there's stones touching each other, and it's got to work right.
Yeah, in the comments, it seems like a lot of people are fed up with some of these other bigger homestead channels that aren't necessarily talking about homesteading, that it's more of a reality show. And so I was visiting a homestead channel, a very big homestead channel. And you think I should talk about that?
Just don't say their names.
Yeah. I was visiting a really big homestead channel, one of the bigger ones, and they were talking about them uploading all the time and how they didn't care what was in the video because they knew at least a certain amount of people were going to see that video no matter what they put out. So they weren't worried about the content or the quality of content or whether or not they were conveying any sort of message or anything like that. So that's definitely something we're going to avoid. And if we get to that point, then we'll just stop.
Well,
right?
you know, the funny thing is that I think these people started off with the best of intentions, and then over time, I think the need to make money takes over. And I'm just not willing. Nobody here is willing to compromise. I'm not going to give you thinned out bone sauce because I want to go make that almighty dollar. Because frankly, the amount of time I put into it, I'm not sure it's worth it. But as far as what we charge for it, I wanted to give a reasonable price, but I also got to be compensated for the time it takes for us to make it. I'm just not willing to do that. I'm not going to. It was like another thing, going back to Danny and Wanda at Deep South, where they were saying, like, they kept, I didn't understand what they meant at first when we got there, when they were going on about how they want to spend time with people that are real. And I can relate to what they are. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are more polished than spit and more glitter than grit when it comes to these channels. And I just won't do it. I don't have to do this YouTube. It's not like they're paying me anything worthwhile. We do it because I really love to evangelize this information, and I want to see as many yeoman farmers out there as I possibly can. That's really the long and short of it. But there's a lot of people out there that are more reality based, and that's fine if that's what you're into. It's just never going to be what we do, which means we'll probably not grow. Believe me, I came from a radio. Look, I understand entertainment very well, and I could go out here and do a bunch of gratuitous vulgarity where I stage photo ops in front of.
You're not going to catch us crying on camera. That's what he's trying to say.
No, there was one time I got choked up talking about Veterans for Child Rescue.
But you caught yourself,
it wasn't contrived.
No.
It wasn't contrived.
No.
I mean, and I told him, look, turn this thing off till I get myself back together. You're not going to see me up here. Oh, I got a hangnail. You're not going to see that.
I wouldn't
because
have
I'm a man.
That.
I'm joking, y'all. If you want to cry on there, you knock yourself out, but you're not going to see any gratuitous vulgarity here. That's not what I do. It's not what we do. Look, if what we do it doesn't stand on its own, Miss Lippy from Gemini Homestead did another show on that. It is appalling. The number of people she looked up just for GP how to chew bubble gum. Tons of videos out there. Looks up, I mean, some pretty crazy stuff. Check out Gemini Homestead if you want to see actually a very entertaining and very informative expose of what I'm talking about. Yeah, we can go out there and engage in this gratuitous, and we kid around and joke and stuff, but at the end of the day, in these times, I got a feeling that the people that are out there selling subscriptions to a reality show, you're going to wish you spent more time watching. I think those of us out there that are more motivated and trying to put out it warms my heart. I can't begin to tell you how much it warms my heart to know that these people are trying the bone sauce because they are growing food. Or how much it warms my heart that when we sell comfrey, I know that the people that buy comfrey from us will almost certainly never have to buy it again. We're putting ourselves out of business. I think that's what I ought to be doing. I want to give you things, I want to sell things that you can use on the farm that aren't trinkets. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, I want everything from what we show you here to what we sell to be worthwhile and things that you can do.
And yeah, Homesteading Pastor, I think. And that's another channel you guys should check out if you haven't already. I mean, he just made the comment. He said, y'all's channel is more like ours as far as being more about fellowship and interaction with our subscribers, kind of like family and not about the money.
You know, it's funny because I was listening to Pastor Lon and Robbie Lynn at the Homesteading Pastor's channel. I heard Miss Robbie Lynn say something about, and when she said that, I was in the bathroom and I about jumped up and said hallelujah, because I was like, she mentioned something about the thing that irks her, and it just seems rude, is when you ask somebody a comment and they don't respond. That is one of the biggest pet peeves to me. It's like when you're walking down the street in the South where I grew up, you say hi to somebody. If they don't say hi back, y'all, that's almost fighting words when I was a kid.
Or lack of words.
Right. You tip your hat to somebody and they acknowledge you. look, in this country, in the United States of amnesia, when a person offers a salute to you, you return it. It's just the kind thing to do. It's not just Southern hospitality, y'all. And so when you go to one of these channels and you leave a comment, and there's A, not an ability to leave a comment, or B, I ask you a question and you can't even, like Deep South, that was what I found astonishing, is all their viewers, and they still go by, even if they don't necessarily answer your question, they at least acknowledge that they've seen it by hitting that heart button or hitting the thumbs up, and half the time they actually respond. They can't give you a Shakespearean soliloquy, but they can, maybe a couple of letters means everything. I understand you're busy, but some of these other channels, when they don't even respond to you, I won't even stay subscribed because that's part of the community here. I totally agree. Somebody asked me a question. I promise you, if I don't answer, it's because I didn't see it. And
Well-
I don't always get, even on Patreon, I don't even know that somebody sent the question sometimes till days later. I agree with Miss Robbie Lynn that if you ask a question and you got this platform, somebody ought to be answering the question.
Well, I think it depends on the type of channel you're doing. If you're doing a reality show, then, I mean, you're not too inclined about answering questions. But if you're doing a channel where you're trying to show somebody how to do something or teach somebody something, I think you have to answer questions. Or else, I mean, why would you stay around? If you keep texting somebody and they never respond back,
That's a good point,
stop
Tom.
texting that person.
Yeah, that's a big pet peeve. But folks, let me just put this out there right now, because there's times I'm just like agonizing over the fact that somebody asked a question, I didn't know about it. It's because they never let me know. I have to go back a couple of videos, and I don't have a lot of time, but I do. If somebody asks me a question, I think if you took time out of your day to even watch anything we do, I'm thankful. If you have a question, I'm assuming that you really want an answer. So there's been times, and I could name the channels. If you can't even acknowledge that somebody showed up to your channel and I'm not gonna. I think a couple of people in there said the same thing. What's some of the comments on there regarding that?
Regarding which part?
Like the responsiveness of. I saw something from Pacific Permaculture, another great channel.
Oh, yeah, he was saying I abandon channels that never respond, which, I mean, that's the purpose of, like, watching some of these channels.
No, that's our purpose. That's the purpose of everybody watching right now.
No, I'm saying, like, that's the purpose, that's the reason behind watching certain channels, is because you're going there to learn about a specific thing, and if that channel doesn't cover a specific thing, and you need an answer to that, then... I mean,
Right. There's been a couple of times back in the day where I'm like, okay, if y'all ain't even responding to my question, I don't even know why I'm here, because I'm not here to be entertained. I'm here to get informed. So if you can't answer my question, but folks, I mean, I know there's been questions on them butchery videos I did, like the whole hog butchery. We were still kind of getting our sea legs on all this. We're going to do a better version of it. And like I said, this months later, and I'm just finding out I got a question, y'all. It's not being rude. I just didn't know.
Yeah, I think once you get a certain amount of questions, then YouTube just kind of, it alerts you about like every couple of questions. So let's say you get 5 comments all at once, it'll just alert you about that one. So YouTube is a little tricky. Patreon, I don't understand the app at all. The app just seems to be lacking in every kind of way.
Well, as far as the interactive part of it,
Yeah.
but I find out, as soon as I find out a question on any platform, and that's the only ones I look at is Patreon and YouTube. I do all the question answer stuff there. He does it on, what's that other thing called?
Instagram?
Yeah, that. Yeah, what about it? Like,
We
I'm
have
supposed to know what that is?
Yeah,
Look.
we have one.
Emails, look, you send them to me. I try to respond, y'all. I mean, I'm up till midnight sometimes doing some of this stuff, but it's not a burden. I thank y'all for your interaction. Thank you for your support too.
On the flip side, though, spell check your questions. You guys got to make them legible, because some of these
Yeah.
questions don't make any sense.
Yeah, well, I think they're. Well, I can attest to that because he gets on to
And
me
some
about
of his
it.
responses don't
Right,
make any
because
sense.
sometimes I'll talk into this stupid thing. I can't stand having a cell phone anyway, y'all. I really can't. I've honestly mowed over the idea of getting rid of it altogether and just going back to putting up an answering machine. I mean, if it was up to me, we'd send smoke signals. So I can't stand this little slave device anyway. So I try to limit my time on it, and I've become something of a Luddite. So
Fun fact about our YouTube channel: every video has been filmed with a iPhone. Speaking of cell phones, we filmed them all on cell phones. This right now is on a cell phone, actually.
yeah, that's right. There were some questions. Back up, Black Pack had a question about the most useful plant.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it was all back.
Well, no, it says, tell me about your first real animal harvest.
First real animal harvest.
First real animal harvest.
Yeah, it was chickens. We were with Darren and Patty. Yeah, we had to invent how to do that, y'all. We came up actually with piecing out a chicken without gutting it. That's part of how that came about. That's years ago. We didn't quite know what we were doing, but we got it worked out. And then honestly, folks, by full immersion, I mean, so it got to the point where, there's not an animal out there I don't want to sound flip about it, but he'll eat anything. That's a fact, except for a raw tomato. But
even then, I'll eat a raw Cherokee
purple. But by and large, yeah. So for the most part, it's I can dress and put away any animal I want to. I don't want to sound flip at that, y'all, because honestly, I consider it a very solemn and sacred act. Taking life in any form, I really do. I mean, I don't just get out there, let's just kill them all. No, it's not anything like that. I harvest an animal. That's what I do. And I thank the good Lord. We all get around and we pray profusely before we do anything like that.
Especially, well, the thing I pray most for whenever we're processing and stuff like that is that I don't screw it up.
Well, that's kind of hard to do, son. I mean,
no, I mean, whether it be like I remember there was one time when you were gone and I had to process that one sheep.
Oh, yeah.
That was not
and he wasn't yet trained at it.
No.
I mean, that
was a YouTube education right there.
Yeah, so he had to do it, and I hadn't yet trained him up on how to do it. But that's the beauty about. I mean, it wasn't comfortable for him. We were living in Texas at the time. I was working in Kentucky, and he had to make it happen.
But
so,
the part that was most concerning to me was not making the animal suffer in the process. So, Blackpack also asked, what would you say your bumper crop was this year? What do you think it was this year, Dan?
Well, it ain't done yet. I mean, here the season's a little bit different. I think it's going to be sweet potatoes.
I think our bumper crop was honey.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
We've already harvested 3 times this year, and it's August.
I didn't even think about that. We've been adding it up. I mean, out of them hives down there, we've captured several. We got one up in the tree 40 feet up we can't do nothing about. Man, I like to capture that thing. That's one massive bee swarm up in that tree.
Yeah. It's not a swarm. It's a full hive.
Yeah.
They built comb out. They've drawn out comb and everything on this branch. I had to take the drone up to go look at it to see what was going on. Huh?
You get footage?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it from the drone.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, y'all, it's a sight to see. But yeah, honey. But I think as far as things that we grew out of the ground, these sweet potatoes, which is going to be good because we had a couple of different techniques going on there, mine and Michelle's, but they are completely running away. Sweet potatoes, we had no luck last year because we used that when we first got here. Remember, we had to use that store-bought compost.
Compost, yeah.
We put our stuff in there, folks, and everything is blowing up. So we got more tomatoes than we know what to do with right now. We got green beans coming out the wazoo.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it. Everything is blowing up ever since we had a chance. Once we keep this compost machine going, y'all, it doesn't stop. We are all over it when it comes to,
also, I think another bumper crop that we had was comfrey.
Yeah?
I mean, these are things that are considered crops.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of comfrey.
We easily, tripled the amount of comfrey we have growing now?
Yeah, but there's a lot of good things going on. And since we're in the building phase of trying to turn this place into something, every day I pray that the good Lord make this into something that that is a testament of what he does. And it's happening. It's happening. I mean, despite me and him and all the other things, we're able to make some things happen and make some wonderful relations. I mean, Justin down the road, we love him and his daughters, and it's funny how God can give you better friends than you can ever pick for yourself. So,
yeah, or better family.
Yeah, that's life's injustice. You can't pick your own family.
Yeah.
What's some of those comments?
Oh man, there's a bunch. Sandra Del Vecchio was talking about how it's important to, be able to process any animal on your farm instead of viewing them as pets and then being surprised when there's an issue. Dwight Howers was asking if I could post the footage of the hive and the tree in one of our future videos.
Yeah, Dwight, I'd like to see it myself because apparently he's been.
I sent it to Justin.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. I've never seen that footage. Yeah, thank you, Dwight.
Well, Pacific Permaculture is saying in 5 years you will have maximum abundance there.
Lord willing.
I don't think it'll peak after 5 years though.
I don't think so either.
I mean, maybe the food forest will be like self-sustainable and stuff like that, and that it'll kind of take care of itself at that point. But I don't know if we really even know what the peak is.
I don't know that we can possibly know, at least not at this point, because we got these pigs, y'all. We're going to do a video here. Should be not what these pigs are doing for us, even in this extraordinary and extreme environment, is astonishing. They're working on the side of a mountain, y'all, that they shouldn't be able to do. They're clearing this stuff out, and what we're doing, we're seeing a canvas open up before us, and it's allowing us to do things and create ideas that we didn't even know were possible. So it's really something else. As far as hitting a peak, I really don't know where the top or bottom is. I really don't.
And then Glenn, he said, I'm interested in what you'll do higher up on the mountain. And the possibilities of what we're going to do higher up on that mountain just increased exponentially because of Justin. And we didn't realize what was possible in these mountains until we saw what he could do.
I didn't realize that he could run. Look, y'all, all around this place, you'll see trailers in places that they should not be. I'm like, how did they even get that up there? I know doggone well they didn't drive this thing up there.
They had Justin. That's what happened.
I mean, he's over here working. Yeah, he's doing stuff on the side of this mountain. And like I said, there's 8 generations of, we're the beneficiaries of so much of his great knowledge.
The Homestead pastor said, hey guys, who's Justin that y'all are talking about? Justin at Metcalf Mills. Check him out. Metcalf Mills. He just commented. Check him out.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a video coming out here soon that you guys are just gonna stop watching us.
That's what I say. I keep saying it every time. Y'all just don't know the full extent of what he's doing and what he does. And I don't even know if he knows, because this is just life to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how extraordinary he is and what he does is. And when y'all see what this guy is doing, we keep saying that. And I'm telling you, when y'all see the full extent of what he does, it is going to floor you. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as what the possibilities are up the side of this mountain, I'm having ideas. Oh my goodness. I can't even begin to tell you. Homesteading Pastor, he's just kicking that YouTube off. I mean, he's got a few videos there, but he's in there grinding stuff with an ATV that he's got.
Yeah, he set up, what was that, a grist mill?
A grist mill.
Yeah,
he's
he
got
set up
running.
that grist mill.
It's a short though. It's not a regular video.
It's a short, but it's just cool. He takes his leather strap, hooks it up to the tire of the ATV, and it runs back to the grist mill, and he has the ATV lifted up a little bit, running, powering that grist mill.
He didn't even have a YouTube channel back then. It was just, hey.
Just had to get it done.
One of his daughters was filming, and hey, it was just getting it done. But y'all, when you see what this guy does, you're gonna say, I wish all of YouTube was. You ain't gonna want to watch nothing else. Like I said, he's an extraordinary storyteller, extraordinary person, and what he's able to do is just I mean, and you know what I'm finding out is it's the same thing he has that Danny at Deep South has, is that what we call permaculture is just common sense to some people.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just common sense.
Sandra Del Vecchio, it's Metcalf Mills, not Metcalf Mountain. Metcalf Mills. Mills. Actually, I'll just go ahead and. Well, he's in the chat with you guys. He's commenting under Metcalf Mills. Yeah.
Yeah, so when y'all see what he does, I'm telling you what, when the whole world does, and we were going back to some of these bigger YouTube channels that are all about just, hey, watch us, and here's the latest thing that's going on. We'll create some drama. We'll make it. Let's go have a. Never mind, I ain't gonna say it. He ain't about that, y'all. And there's a number of us out there that ain't, and it seems like a lot of us are on this chat. Homesteading Pastor,
Black Pack, Pacific Permaculture.
That's right. There's a whole gang of y'all out there, and it's a real. I watch y'all too. I sometimes don't always get a chance to comment or whatever, but if nothing else, I know I hit that thumbs up. So, and I'm thankful for the content y'all put out there. I mean, Black Pack, I learned, I'd have killed every last rabbit we were thinking about raising there had I not looked at that video and finding out how cool they needed to be. Yeah, there's a lot of awesome stuff we learned from y'all, and we thank you so much.
Will your comfrey survive Houston heat?
Yep.
It survived East Texas heat.
Yep.
It should.
It'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff it's very resilient.
You might have to water it a little bit more till it gets established and stuff like that. Yeah. But
you can grow that stuff anytime you can work the soil. It's extraordinarily resilient. Everything out there, and when I say everything, I mean I haven't seen an environment where it didn't grow. But every animal on the farm loves to eat that stuff too. So
the dogs eat it.
Yeah,
the dogs will just walk by and
eat a leaf hey, what do you want from me?
I'm like, oh, glad you planted this year.
Yeah. So, but we grow so much, y'all. We cannot get enough of it. It's really that extraordinary. We use it in the compost. You can make a comfrey tea out of it. There's so many, and like I said, it's all over the side of this mountain now. At least I planted it, and it's around every tree. We use it for chop and drop. Black Pack Homestead. So you can't say that fast.
Black Pack.
They asked earlier what I thought. I think the question went by quick, so I didn't really make it out. It's like, what plant do you think is most valuable? It's kind of a cardinal sin in permaculture, I think, to maybe pick one plant. But if I had to, right at the top of that list, the one that I feel like I couldn't do without at this point is comfrey, because we use it for everything. It being a dynamic accumulator, Michelle is religious about feeding that stuff to the sheep. It's and it's easy to grow. It's really not that hard.
Maybe we should do a video on that.
Well, yeah, we should. But also, this is one of those things, y'all, where there's an old Louis L'Amour book called The Walking Drum, and believe it or not, it's my favorite book. And there's a saying in there. He says, look, you can rob and kill a man only once, but you can steal from him again and again. And that's not what we're here to do. When you buy this comfrey from us, folks, you are now self-sufficient on comfrey.
Yeah.
We've given some of it away too to folks that I just, I like, and I want to bless you with it. You never have to buy it again. That's what I'm saying. When we sell this to you, when we sell the bone sauce, it ain't something you got to do over and over and over again. I want to put me out of business because our products are so good, because the things that we do are serving a purpose. It doesn't have planned obsolescence in there where it just quits on you after a month or two. When you buy comfrey from us, if you know how to propagate it, you never got to buy it again.
Let's say you buy 20 cuttings and only one of them works. That one is plenty.
Well, it better not be the case, because we just pulled this stuff up out of the ground, folks. We ain't giving you no chance. And
there
honestly,
were a few people who've had some issues with growing this comfrey, which I've never heard of before.
And if you got problems, we'll set things right.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Like the other competition out there, we know what their standards are, and there's nothing wrong with them. It's just we give you more, and our pieces are longer, and we're glad to do it.
Tyrant's Bane TDOA. He said, "How do I get started as a city boy?" check out Eric Sider. Check out what he's doing right now and what he has done. He's in California right now. Terrence Bain, I don't know which state you're.
Yeah, what city?
I don't know what city you're in, but it can't be as restricted as Eric's.
Yeah, yeah. Also, as far as in those cities, there are examples that we knew of, like in Kansas City. The guy's name was Saste, and his wife's name was Adenike. And they were growing food in all these vacant lots in downtown Kansas City. They're like, okay, you want to sit there and, it's just in the middle of the hood. So they were going out there. They were doing aquaponics in downtown Kansas City, right off of Troost. I'm talking bullet-ridden Troost. And they were growing food down there. So I'm not sure what part of the city you're from or anything, but that's where I would start. Start in your backyard. You know what? Grass. Why do you need it? Nobody ever stops to think about, where did the lawn even come from? You know what? That's a reflection of royalty. It was, the whole notion of a lawn was invented by royalty, and somehow us proletariat think that, oh, we get a lawn, we don't grow it in the front. We want a nice green manicured lawn. Grow food out there. Forget the lawn.
The lawn was to show that you had land to waste.
That's right. Right. It was also in accordance with a lot of what went on with Sir Francis Bacon, The New Atlantis. If you want to be freaked out, read that book, because a lot of people really use it as their Bible. But anyway, it was the idea, the notion of molding and twisting nature to do what you want. That's what a lawn. I can go into a long diatribe about it, but I won't.
The French garden.
That's right.
And stuff like
That's
that.
right.
Was to show, like, you've conquered nature.
That was the whole purpose
and
of it,
And then the English try to attempt that, but an insult of a French garden is to call it an English garden.
Yeah, but yeah, there you go. I mean, just don't grow food, not lawns.
Yeah. Glenn wants to know if we have any difficulty finding cattle right now.
Yeah,
I know Ben and Denise, they were having trouble for a while, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, but I don't know if they want us to say, but we want a Dexter for this area because of the terrain. We need something that can eat hardy stuff, can, put up with the terrain and thrive. And so we got a Dexter bull coming, and he'll be working with one of our friends and neighbors, doing what bulls do.
So when
he grows up, but yeah, to
answer
good
that,
stock.
Yeah, that's the issue.
To find good stock, yeah. Anyway, we got I don't even know if I want to give it up just now until we get them. We got some good breeding stock sheep that we should be picking up anytime real soon, and that's where we're really going to kick off some really good things. I mean, very disease resistant. They're not cheap, but you got to do what you got to do to get what you need. But yeah, good stock's hard to find right now.
And Jenny Stimson, she had good advice for Terrence Bain. She was saying, like, what's your favorite plant? Start simple and start with that.
Excellent.
I mean, start with something you use, you like, or you eat. Regarding Terrence Bain, yeah, start with something you like. Because if you don't like tomatoes and you're out there growing tomatoes, then you're not going to keep growing tomatoes. He's out in California.
Yeah, definitely check out Eric Sider. He's out there right now, and I know he's looking to get out too. Just got a text from him today looking to try to come this way also. And
yeah, he's in LA. He's in Los Angeles, and he just said he's looking out in North Carolina and Tennessee.
He's definitely looking out this way. But yeah, just start with what you can. I mean, remember, the farmer is what makes the farm. It's not about anything else.
Yeah. One more, and then we'll...
Yeah, it's been a real...
So what's the status of the 15 acres?
We don't have time to mess with anything, y'all. I mean, honestly, we're up to our necks in what we have right here. So we're putting anything on hold that's outside of this place. We're just going to go ahead and, for now, and plus, honestly, there's a strategic negotiation kind of going on that I have in mind. So I don't want to say too much right now because I'm not sure who's watching. But anyway, part of negotiation is sometimes waiting, and
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about that right now. But it's something we'll be looking at getting into.
And to answer your question real quick, Terrence Bain, we're not leasing it yet. It's more of we're not leasing it yet. It's the neighbor's property, and he doesn't know what to do with it, and we might know what to do with it.
No, we know exactly what to do with it,
Well.
but it can't be done. It can't be done under any. Look, when you have a lease and you have land and you're running animals on it, it can't be I lease it from you, but you get to call the shots on how I do it. It can't work that way. And you can't be over there like, hey, I know you leased this spot. No. If you lease it, I get pretty much total control. You can't get over there thinking you're going to tell me how to run my animals when I know you don't know what you're talking about. So, and in that case, I know that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
100% sure.
It's like it's the way we graze, honestly. We don't start at the top and then graze our animals down so they go through their own manure load, which was suggested to me. No, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather not do that. So in any case, if it doesn't make sense, well, I'm just not going to do it. So
Ready?
Well, okay, yeah, just one more time, y'all. I know some people are disappointed about not having a bone sauce handy or running out, but folks, I wasn't exaggerating when I said we had small batches. Hopefully we'll have some back up tomorrow, depending on how this burn goes. Not sure. And I'm not going to rush it, and I'm not going to put out junk. So if it's going to be Billy's bone sauce, it ain't going to be Billy's halfway jacked up bone sauce. It's not going to be anything like that. If it's not right, it ain't. I'm not selling it. So yeah, we'll try to get some of that up. We also got Comfrey online if you want some. Here before long, we're thinking about selling honey.
I was thinking about selling maybe wood carvings in the future, if that's something you guys are interested in. I do bowls and spoons and stuff like that.
Oh, Homesteading Pastor. Oh, anybody looking to get a hold of us, you can go to the website. Typically, it's Billy at permapasturesfarm.com. So anyway, yeah, sorry if there's some disappointed folks out there, y'all. We got a little bit, but we're often trying to make as much as we can because I know there's a lot of folks out there that really need this stuff. Worked real great for Deep South and it works excellent for us. And we got a few other test places out there also. So if we can get it to you, we'll have it up back on the line. Thank you so much for all your support and thank you for the fellowship and the love from all y'all out there. Sounds like I'm giving an Academy Award speech.
It sounds like people want some wood carvings now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like give him some more reason to go loafing, y'all.
What?
I'm out there working like a runaway slave, and he's out there carving in the garage, like just whittling. Hey, what's up, Pop?
Practicing skills. Just in
Yeah.
case, hey, we'll never have to buy silverware.
There you go.
Or spoons, at least.
Yeah, well.
All right, you ready,
Hey,
Dad?
y'all, thanks again, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your support. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.